what Gabe was able to do, especially without Tyler.
They really have gained so much confidence. I thought they were coming into the season, they were really prepared to be able to give us good minutes, but they just continue to grow. They're gaining confidence, and they really inspire each other. It's fun watching them compete. They all want each other to do well. There's just a great camaraderie with them, and they lift each other up. They play great, competitive defense, and they really share the ball and find the open guy on the other end. They have fun doing it. And that just is a great luxury for us to have that kind of punch off the bench. And it's not only on one side of the floor.
I know, Dan, you're always looking for the right play that he usually makes. It's been 2 straight third quarters where the guys have been squarely on the basket in the third. Was that something you sensed he would do?
It all just depends on the context. Once everybody on the outside just wants any of our guys to put up a certain amount of shots or numbers, that's not what it's about. It's about making the appropriate play. Every team has a different scheme, and you have to read the context of the game. And I think Bam is on this road trip has really been making some great plays in terms of knowing when to go and be aggressive to score, or knowing when to find somebody else for an easy basket. And that's always a tough balance, when you're a great player. But on this road trip, he's just done a marvelous job with that.
One other thing for me, because Jimmy does so much well, so many parts of the game. Sometimes you don't even, not you, but sometimes people don't even appreciate the crafty moves around the basket. Just your appreciation for that. We've seen it now this whole road.
Jimmy is so unique, because he's the ultimate closer and finisher, of your offense. If the ball gets to him and the second half of the possession, he just has a way of finding an angle, finding an open spot, getting into open gap, and either shot making, drawing a foul, or playmaking, because he's so unselfish. But the other part of his greatness is he can be an initiator too. So when we had Kyle and Gabe out there, he can run your offense, and he's had to do that for us the last couple of years, where he's really been our point forward. So he can toggle back and forth between those two responsibilities extremely well. That looks probably much easier on the outside than it actually is. There's not a lot of players that can do that.
Erik, how important was the three-point shooting?
I mean, that's part of it. We have a bunch of guys that are ignitable. The energy really started from our defense. We're really active, forcing turnovers, forcing tough shots that got us some easy ones in the open court. And then we have a bunch of ignitable guys. They hit one, that can easily turn into 4 or 5. If somebody else hits one, the next guy feels like he's hot and he never even shot one. It's just they feed off each other, that energy, that momentum. But again, it started, I believe, the last 2 third quarters were very good defensively.
Alex, go ahead.
I will take one from Zoom. Ira, go ahead.
Erik, the way the game is such a game of runs, you were up 20 early, then they closed within 7 at halftime, then you busted it up open again in the third quarter. Was it purely the defense that made the difference there? Were you concerned about the turnovers in the second quarter? Sort of why such a game of runs until you guys finally stabilized?
That's an NBA basketball game. I mean, very rarely does any team get off to an early lead and then just turn it into a 30 or 40 point game. That's just not realistic. 48 minutes is a long time. And you have to play intentional and play, all the way through. Our play got a little bit sloppy in that second quarter with the turnovers and the fouling, and that's just something that we'll have to continue to get better at when we get leads. And I've said this before, these are high class challenges, when you're trying to figure out, more efficient ways to hold on to leads. that's a great problem. I've been on teams where that's never been something you even have to address because you're never getting out to those leads.
Eric, and also a bunch of places you go, Orlando, Atlanta, tonight in Washington, the Let's Go Heat, clearly the legacy you've built up for the big 3 years. What's it like to be in someone else's building and it sounds that much like home?
That was unique. We've been in some other arenas. You get it when it's in Orlando. You get it when it's in some other places. I've had some surprising ones. We had that chant in New York, I guess a couple of years ago. That was really shocking. And this one was a little bit surprising, but the guys should feel good about that. Hopefully it's bigger than just the brand of the Heat. It's also hopefully that people respect, how our guys compete and try to do it the right way.
Thank you.
All right, Coach, that's it. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.